Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Perdue Stadium. My name's Steve Miller. I'm the director of Wycomico County Recreation Parks and Tourism. Very thrilled to have everybody here today. A couple weeks ago, we were throwing snowballs out here, and very soon they'll be throwing baseballs, which is what we want to see here. We're excited to celebrate some of the major improvements that are happening at Perdue Stadium and how this will impact both the team and our community for many years to come. To tell that story about what's happening, we have a few special guests who will talk specifically about the project, what's happening, and why it's so impactful to both the team, the state of Maryland, and our community. First, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of the Maryland Stadium Authority, Mr. Michael Friends. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here today. Our chairman, Craig Thompson, sends his regrets because he's unable to be here. He'd really love to be here today. And he also sends his congratulations to the team, Wycomico County. And, this really creates a lot of opportunity for economic development, and it really further elevates Maryland as a sports and entertainment destination. As I said, we're delighted to be here today. We're really here due to the efforts of Wycomico County to engage MSA to do the original studies and then use the funding that we were able to get from Annapolis, the $200 million sports and entertainment grants. And then they took steps to get us to oversee the construction of this beautiful ballpark. I think it, obviously it needs some work in order to get to the sort of standard that Major League Baseball is setting for minor league stadiums, but I think that the facility management around here evidently has been very good because I think the place looks great. The funding I referred to earlier really acts like a grant program where we're now involved in all of the minor league teams in Maryland that have Major League affiliations. And again, as I said, it's player development standards established by Major League Baseball in order to maintain the affiliation. Players, coaches, and fans will all be pleased that this project includes home and visitor clubhouse renovations, expansion under the existing seating bowl. It also includes work for a standalone 9,000 square foot batting and training facility that will connect to the end of the existing concourse on the third base side. In addition to the clubhouses and new arena structure, there will be upgrades to the bullpens, dugouts, field lighting, parking lot stormwater management, and field accessibility and safety. In closing, I'd really like to thank MSA's board for their leadership. Gary McGuigan, who runs our Capital Projects and Development Group, who's under whose leadership this project falls. Gary, I think, is stuck on the bridge, so possibly we'll see him later. I also want to thank Al Tyler, who works for Gary, Chris Deremick, who's the project manager, along with Ryan Carter, Don Absher, our CFO, who's overseeing the financing of this project. And finally, we look forward to continued working with the design build firm of Gilbane Building Company, plus Ewing Cold and Isis Build. In closing, MSA was established nearly 40 years ago to oversee the baseball stadium at Camden Yards, and our mission has since expanded to include building programs across the state, including schools, demolition, the DLS building, new minor league stadiums. But this really brings us back to our roots of working on stadiums. So, we're all pleased to do that, and we're pleased to be here today. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Pat Philippone, the president of Seventh Inning Stretch, the ownership group of the team.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming out. Echo a lot of the same things Mike said, but what I want to start with is this project exemplifies what is so special and quite frankly essential to minor league baseball in our industry: community-driven partnerships. Minor league baseball wouldn't exist, let alone flourish the way it has over the last century, without the partnerships of municipalities from states, counties, cities, you name it. This project exemplifies that and is a shining star example of that within the minor league baseball system. I'll echo some of the similar thank yous that Mike did, because I generally feel this way. There's been an abundance of talented people that have contributed to where we are now and what we'll get to by opening day. And then shortly thereafter, when the batting performance center opens up during the season. But the state of Maryland, obviously, Maryland Stadium Authority, Chris, you've been awesome. Everyone involved with the Stadium Authority has been fantastic. Wicomico County, all the representatives, we've had a wonderful relationship since we bought the club in 2006. We appreciate everything you do for us. Steve, in particular, has been fantastic. The Baltimore Orioles, the trivia question is the first year the team was in town before us was the Montreal Expos, knowing it's going to end up being the Baltimore Orioles. So we've been with the Orioles since '97. Fantastic partnership. Couldn't be more thankful. So thanks for everything the Orioles have done. We've had some great teams through the years, wonderful players we've been very proud of, and we look forward to many more to come. The Shoreboards community and corporate partners in this region have been fantastic, very loyal, very supportive. We couldn't do what we do without the partnership and involvement with the club. And our fan base is fantastic, dedicated. We own 3 teams, 3 different parts of the country, and the fans in Salisbury, Wicomico County, the state of Maryland are unbelievable. So we really appreciate all that. Want to also separate thank you to Gilbane and Ewing Cole, as Mike mentioned. Talented people, dedicated. Appreciate everything you guys have done and the vision and leadership you've shown in this project. I've learned a lot. Not that I'm going to go building big buildings anytime in my future, but it's been a good experience that has been enjoyable as well. This project really solidifies the place of the Shoreboards in the minor league baseball industry and Major League Baseball's vision for player development moving forward. I mean, their primary thing when they changed the system 4 years ago is facilities, top to bottom. And so having this upgraded facility in Salisbury really solidifies our position and long-term viability as a Major League Baseball affiliate in the system. 43 markets lost their teams when Major League Baseball did their reorganization of the system. We obviously kept it with the vision moving forward that the state, the Stadium Authority, county all saw that we needed to upgrade the facility to meet these standards to ensure viability. And that's what this does, and that's what represents this. And we feel very confident that we're now going to have in the top 25% of the ballparks of the 120 across the country with the upgraded facility. So thanks again for everyone involved with that. Our role as stewards of the franchise obviously is to be involved in the community, actively engage in the community. So most of these upgrades or be for player driven. The new building, the Performance Center, we're excited about. We're excited about getting our arms around that as well to activate it for the community. Don't have anything big to announce right now because we don't know what it's going to be. Once we get it constructed and get inside, we can figure it out. Obviously, the primary focus is to develop the next round of Orioles players, but it's a lot. 9,000 square feet is a lot of space that we can play with when we have the time to play with it. And our task is to engage the community, do various activations, whether it's youth sports, events, whatever. But we are taking that role seriously. We're going to make sure we do that as well and get the community to get involved and get to see some of the insides of the facility. So again, thank you to everyone I mentioned. Thank you for all you guys being here. It's been a wonderful project. We look forward to getting it done. And opening day is shortly right around the corner. Thanks, everyone. Kent, I know you're next on the agenda. Kent Qualls, the Baltimore Orioles. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it very much. My name is Kent Qualls, Director of Minor League Ops with the Baltimore Orioles. Really my pleasure to be here today and also my pleasure to be the Orioles representative on this project. You know, we've been working on this for over a year now. Want to send the best regards and thanks and appreciation from our entire baseball operations team. Mike Elias, our General Manager, Matt Blood, our Vice President of Player Development and Scouting, Anthony Villa, who's our director of player development. All of us collectively, our entire baseball ops group, are just so appreciative for these upgrades, what this is going to do for our player development operation, our entire baseball operations group. The training of the baseball players has evolved, especially greatly over like the last 5 years or so. And one thing I like about this project, and I want to thank the design team, I think what's going to set this apart from any of the other 120 minor league baseball teams is all the work that went in the front of this. So not only did they say, what is the major league requirement for this space or that space, they came to me and to the Orioles and said, hey, what do your players need? What do your coaches need? What is their daily life like? How do they live in this space? How do they work in this space? And like I mentioned, the game has changed a lot. How we train players, the technology involved has changed a lot. And so that took hour upon hour upon hour of meetings with all these coaches to figure out how can we maximize the money we're spending here and get the most out of this facility. And I truly think it's going to be one of the top facilities in all of minor league baseball when it's finished later this season. So I want to thank all the partners involved, obviously the state of Maryland, Wacomico County, Maryland Stadium Authority. Chris, to me, this is like my rookie season in this construction business. Think I'm like Gunnar Henderson or Adley Rutschman, one of those guys making their debut, except in my world, this is in the construction. And what do these projects look like? I haven't participated. These guys, as Pat mentioned, have just been fantastic. It's been a real collaborative effort. The design team with Gil Bain, Ewing Cole, these guys are pros at building ballparks, designing ballparks. The Insight build team here locally, can't thank you enough. Just to touch on some of the upgrades and some of the facilities, I think the most noticeable facility is going to be the batting arena that will be behind us. Regarding that facility, it's not just a simple batting cage. They said, what do your players need? So one of the key things that we train with hitters now is their launch angle. So this building is bigger cages, higher cages, just much bigger space. We also ask for classroom space for our players. A lot of their learning is on the field, but a lot of their learning is also in a classroom. So, just their receptiveness to hear us out, help us make those changes is really important. The bullpen areas that'll be here to the left on each side is another area we spent significant time on, and those are designed large enough where we can bring our pitching lab from Baltimore. We've got room for all the cameras around the pitching mounds. You're going to see something a little unique where those mounds and home plates are covered, and the intent behind that is so we can use the technology in the heat of the day and still be able to capture the data that we need to best develop our pitchers. In terms of just the clubhouse, the spaces under the stadium that the fans won't see that regularly, we're going to have a legitimate weight room for our players to train. When this ballpark was built, and many of the ballparks were built around minor league baseball, weight rooms and weight training were really not a thing for minor league players. And now it's an everyday need for our players, and we're going to have a fantastic space. The last space I would just touch on is just our coaches' workroom and collaboration. Our coaching staff has tripled in size over the last 5 or 6 years, so we didn't have enough lockers, we didn't have enough room for them to work. And with these renovations, we're going to have more than enough room. We're going to be able to accommodate our male and female staff, and we've got a nice collaborative workroom for our coaches to work aside from the locker room space. Those of you that are on the tour today, you'll get to see how much the clubhouse is going to more than double in size. You'll get to see that today. So again, thanks to everybody, and enjoyed being here. And who do we pass it to? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. This is a great facility to have a rookie season. We know that very well. The Stadium Authority, Mr. Friends, who spoke, not only are we fortunate to have the funding mechanism through the state and through the elected leaders in the state, but the Stadium Authority and their staff have been top-notch, and we appreciate that in the partnership with both the Shoreboards and the Orioles. But one of the important parts for something like this to work is obviously the local elected leadership. So I'd like to invite the Wicomico County Executive, Ms. Julie Giordano, to say a few words.
Great. Good morning, everyone. It is an incredible day for Wicomico County, the Delmarva Shorebirds, and the entire community as we ceremonially break ground on the Arthur W. Perdue Performance Center. This project represents more than just bricks and mortar. It's an investment in our community, our quality of life, and the future of baseball here on the shore. For decades, the Shorebirds have been a source of pride, entertainment, and inspiration for families across our region. Whether it is a child seeing a game for the first time under the lights, or a rising star on their way to the big leagues, this team has brought people together in a way that few can. The stadium has been a gathering place, a home for unforgettable moments, and a cornerstone of what makes Wicomico County special. And the project is only possible because of the strong partnerships between Wicomico County, the Shorebirds, the Baltimore Orioles, and the state of Maryland. And together we are ensuring that this stadium continues to thrive, providing opportunities for the next generation of players and fans alike. We are deeply grateful for the collaboration and support that has made today's milestone a reality. And I want to take a moment to recognize and thank the elected officials and community leaders here today. First with us, we have our County Council President, John Cannon. We also have our County Councilman, District 4, Josh Hastings. We also have Ms. Carol Rose representing Senator Mary Beth Carrozza's office. We also have our Director of Administration for the county, Bunky Luffman. And we also have our Assistant Director of Administration, Matt Leitzel. I also want to thank Carl Anderton with the Maryland Department of Commerce. When you were our delegate, your dedication to this project was monumental. And it is why we could probably say we're here today. We cannot thank you enough for making what could have just been a pipe dream a reality. And I'd love for you to come up and say a few words on behalf of your department and the governor. I wrote your speech for you. It's right here.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's double spaced. It's good. Yeah, right on. How's everybody doing? Good. All right, come on now. My dad is a Methodist preacher. We could do better than that. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right. Man, what a beautiful day to be on Delmarva. I woke up this morning in Annapolis, had a meeting at 9 o'clock, was on the road, stuck in traffic on the Bay Bridge long enough to enjoy a cigar, and made our way here going probably... Well, we got here. I'll just say that. We got here. So I'm very blessed to be here today. This day is a long time coming. I have to bring greetings on behalf of the governor who wanted to be here. But there's some issues that we're all dealing with in the area. I think our hearts go out. I think I can speak for all of us when I say our hearts go out to the folks who lost their lives last night in the horrific, tragic accident at Reagan International Airport in D.C. What a just a terrible feeling. It's a reminder to all of us that our time on this earth is short. It's finite. You never know. You can't make plans for tomorrow. You can hope for tomorrow, but you're not guaranteed that. So the goal is, I think, to make sure that we do the best we can with the time that we do have, which is right here, right now. The governor's been great. This goes back to the previous administration. I want to give a shout out to Mike Elias, if I can, the general manager of the Baltimore Orioles, and Chris Bitters, the GM of the Delmarva Shorebirds, who helped facilitate a meeting back in 2021 when we first learned of this project, reading an article in Sports Illustrated, or maybe it was the Atlantic. No, the Atlantic, you pay for the Atlantic, so I'm sure it was Sports Illustrated. I'm cheap. Talking about the changes that Major League Baseball was putting forth of requiring all the stadiums to have all similar setups, and the cost of that was just astronomical. The first thought in my head was, I got to get to the front of the line because I know Aberdeen and Bowie and Frederick and everybody's coming. And so I want to thank Chris Bitters for facilitating that meeting right down here by the dugout with Mike Elias and the former budget secretary, David Brinkley, and myself to start these conversations. I want to thank the Maryland Stadium Authority who took the bull by the horns and helped us shepherd that legislation through Annapolis, which allowed this to happen. And yes, everybody else gets to have their upgrades too, but we wanted to make sure we were first. And because as Ricky Bobby says, if you're not first,
You're last.
there you go. That's right. So, but I wanted to shout out Michael Elias because he didn't have to do that, and he went above and beyond his role to help us get that point across to the necessities. But I love this team, this facility. I remember playing catch over there when they were building the facility. I trespassed to do that. But again, if you're not first, right. But it's just a truly, I've been truly blessed to be able to serve my neighbors for the past 20 years on the municipal and state level, and now in the administration with this amazing governor. And, you know, he believes that we all are entitled to the same thing, you know. So when Hagerstown Stadium came on and they got a new video board, he put money in the budget so we can get a new video board. And I'm hopeful to the Stadium Authority. They don't know this yet, but I'm going to ask them for some more money after this meeting. And so, and maybe the ownership. I see the council president here, and I see the Orioles here. So we're going to collaborate. But it's just been a truly amazing, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be here and to see this come to fruition, and so that way my grandchildren and their children and the generations come behind can be blessed by watching the greatest game with the greatest Major League Baseball team here in the greatest stadium, in the greatest county, in the greatest state, in the greatest country on earth. And so enjoy your time today. Be safe traveling. Don't travel like me, travel like I should, and enjoy your time. And this man right here is truly amazing. The county is truly blessed to have him. Every time I call him with a crazy idea, he's like, yeah, man, sounds good. Let's figure out how to do it. You know, and I love you for that. You are truly, truly amazing. And if you ever leave this county and go somewhere else, I'm moving with you because you are awesome. You're a rock star, and I love you for that. And so thank you so much for the opportunity. And you're amazing.
Oh, thank
And
you.
thank you for your leadership. The things that you do, the collaborations you make in Annapolis, help make this thing, and the things that are coming that nobody knows about yet that are really cool. When you have those conversations publicly, they'll know it came because of your collaborations, your hard work and dedication to the folks of Wicomico County. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
So today, we are not just building a facility, we are building memories, strengthening community ties, and securing the legacy of baseball baseball on the shore for years to come. So thank you all for coming and being part of this exciting day. And I think, Chris, I get to introduce or bring up our amazing general manager here, the guy who makes really all of this happen, Chris Bitters.
Well, thank you all for being here today. We appreciate the partnerships and support, as everybody's already covered. This will conclude somewhat of the presentation side of things. Those that spoke and others will be available if any of the media wants to, do one-on-one interviews. We do ask after we're done here with the official groundbreaking part of it here behind us, that just, if you can kind of keep from meandering the ballpark. I know some big roll film and all that, but if we can it's an active construction site. So if when you leave, just head back down the way you came up if you can. Just want to make sure everybody stays safe. But we thank everybody for coming out today. I was talking earlier, and I know someone mentioned, but I mean, this is 30 seasons or 30 years really now, I guess, if you don't count COVID season of Perdue Stadium. And fans alike always comment that they're amazed that we're a single A ballpark here in Wicomico County, and the upkeep of the stadium and the improvements and those things wouldn't be possible without the partnerships that everybody's already talked about. And this new addition is just going to continue to add to that. And my job as a responsibility is, once we have the new opportunities with the buildings and the arena and the performance center that we're building behind us, is to, as Pat said, program that to make it a community asset, which is what I focus on day to day, operating this team and the stadium. So thank you all for being here. I'm not sure how the next part works. This is my first official groundbreaking, so I'll turn it over to Steve to take control of the wheel from here.
Very good. If we could have representatives from the Stadium Authority, County Executive, Mr. Cannon, come grab a shovel. We're going to do a picture, and then once we do the official picture, you can come on. Once we do the official picture, if there are others who would like to do another picture, we're certainly happy to do as many as we need to do. Thank you.